have this down at the campsite.
La idea original era hacer esto abajo junto al camping.
Okay, so now we'll have to make a well, it's up to you. You can have a very public shower or something more private.
Ahora la ducha será más pública, a no ser que alguien se anime a hacer aquí una protección visual.
Okay. The ideal as well is to have a cold feed.
Lo ideal también es que la entrada de agua sea fría.
Okay. Because it's difficult for us when we make a compost shower to regulate the temperature of the compost.
Porque cuando hacemos una ducha de compost es difícil regular la temperatura del compost.
The first time I ever made one of these was on the second day of a permaculture course in California.
La primera vez que hicimos uno de estos fue en el segundo día de un curso de permacultura en California.
Has anyone here seen my little video on YouTube on compost shower?
No. ¿Has visto ese pequeño vídeo que está colgado en YouTube con él haciendo una ducha de compost?
I saw one.
Basically, the reason why we had to build one was because when we got to the permaculture course, we had 30 people.
El motivo por el que teníamos que hacerlo, o tuvimos que hacerlo, es porque llegamos al curso, había 30 participantes.
And we had a timber shower, similar sort of look to the compost toilet that Danny's built us.
Había una ducha hecha con madera parecida al váter de compostaje.
You know, like so, 2 chambers.
Con 2 cámaras.
And on top of that was 1 solar panel.
Y encima había un panel solar.
Okay. And the solar panel had no tank to store the water.
Y el panel solar tenía tanques para almacenar el agua caliente.
So when you went to have a shower, it was very, very hot, and by the time you got the temperature right, it was out of hot water.
Entonces encendías la ducha, estaba hirviendo, y para cuando la ajustabas se te había acabado el agua caliente.
Right? So what's the point in that?
Nada, ningún beneficio, ¿no?
We've got 30 Americans demanding daily showers.
Con 30 americanos pidiendo duchas diarias.
Okay. Not smelly Australians.
Como los australianos que no les importa oler.
Who are hydrophobic. Don't stand too close. So we had to do something. So we had materials to make the compost.
Y algo había que hacer, así que como teníamos los materiales para hacer el compost.
So on the first day we made the normal compost.
El primer día hicimos la compostera normal.
Second day we had 100 meters. 400 feet, which is about 100 meters of this tube, exactly this tube.
El segundo día resulta que teníamos 100 metros de este tubo, exactamente.
Now this is high density polyethylene.
Esto es polietileno de alta densidad.
Okay, which is the best material to use for these compost systems.
Que es el mejor material para utilizar para estos sistemas.
Because it's got quite strong, like it's very difficult to squeeze.
Porque es difícil de aplastar.
That's because this one can be used for mains pressure systems.
Porque puede ser utilizado para sistemas principales de riego.
So this one takes 6 bar of pressure.
Esto aguanta 6 bares de presión.
Okay, so quite a lot.
Es bastante.
Okay, now this is quite short. This will be a very short shower.
Este trozo es bastante cortito, así que será una ducha corta.
So, what's the measurement of circumference? It's pi r squared. No, pi d. Pi d.
Or pi r squared.
2 pi r is circumference. Anyway, whatever it is.
Para calcular la medida de una
Anyway, someone knows that.
2πr.
Pi d.
Area, that's right.
Okay.
Pi d.
Pi d for the
Circumference.
So we want the internal circumference.
Queremos saber la circunferencia interna.
And then we times that by the length, and that will give us the volume of the amount of water that's in the pipe.
Lo multiplicamos por la longitud y nos dará el volumen de agua que hay dentro del tubo.
Okay. So, sorry, no, the area. Pardon me. Yeah.
del área.
Yeah, okay, so you know what I mean. So we need to calculate that. Then we know how much water we've got.
Y al calcular eso sabremos cuánta agua tendremos.
Ultimately, it comes down to time.
Básicamente es una cuestión de tiempo, en realidad, lo que nos interesa.
Is it going to be a 1-minute shower or a 4-minute shower?
¿Será una ducha de 1 minuto o de 4?
And how long will it take to recharge?
¿Y cuánto tiempo va a tardar en recargarse?
Now the first time we made one of these,
La primera vez que hicimos una de estas,
we used oat straw
utilizamos paja de avena
that had been used as bedding straw in a goat barn.
que había sido utilizada como material para que durmieran las cabras encima.
Okay, so they pooed and weed on that.
O sea que estaba cagado y meado.
Right? We took that and we just made it into a pile with the pipe coiled inside.
Hicimos una pila y pusimos el tubo dentro en espiral.
Now, what did we have to add to that to make it work?
¿Qué tendríamos que añadir a eso para que funcionara?
Agua.
Water, correct.
Agua.
So we can get a pile of this straw and just pile it up with the manure. We'll do nothing.
Podemos hacer una pila de la paja con el estiércol y no pasará nada.
So just like Jean Pan, you saw that they added 20,000 litres of water to that heap when they made it.
En el vídeo de John Payne vimos que se añadieron 20.000 litros de agua a esa pila enorme cuando lo hicieron.
There's 20 tonnes of water in that heap.
20 toneladas de agua.
Okay. So we need to add a substantial amount of water to this heap and any compost in order for it to feed the microorganisms.
Entonces a esta pila habrá que añadir bastante agua, como a cualquier compost, para que puedan alimentarse los microorganismos.
Otherwise it's just a pile of ingredients, not a compost.
Si no será solo una pila de materiales en lugar de una composta.
So we put that system together and in California.
Se hizo entonces este sistema en California,
And by that we made it in the morning,
lo hicimos por la mañana,
and by that night we were all having showers.
y por la noche ya nos estábamos duchando todos.
The temperature had risen to 40 degrees centigrade,
La temperatura se elevó a 40 grados,
which meant no cold feed was required.
así que no hacía falta una entrada de agua fría.
We were just lucky.
Tuvimos suerte.
Okay. I've done other ones where it's gone up to 50 degrees,
He hecho otras que han subido hasta 50 grados,
which requires some cold feed.
por lo que se necesita algo de agua fría.
A friend of ours in Ireland,
Una amiga nuestra en Irlanda,
he was spending 4,000 euros a year heating his house with oil.
bueno, es un hombre y estaba gastándose $4.000 al año,
Okay. Euros.
euros al año
Yeah.
calentando su casa.
And I went to his property, and he's got 400 hectares.
Tiene 400 hectáreas,
A sheep farmer,
es ganadero de ovejas
and he also has people's horses. They come in it's like a horse hotel.
y también es como un hotel para caballos.
And so he has a lot of straw
Tiene
from the
muchísima paja
stables and the manure.
y muchísimo estiércol.
And so when I got there, he had a 30 cubic metre heap of manure and straw mixed together.
Y cuando llegué ahí tenía una pila de 30 metros cúbicos de estiércol con paja, todo mezclado.
And I measured the temperature,
Medí la temperatura
and it was 68 degrees inside of the inside of this pile.
en el centro de esta pila llegaba a los 68 grados.
So we bought a long thermometer, a compost thermometer,
Compramos un termómetro de compost
and
largos.
I said, monitor this over the next few months.
Le dije, controla esto en los próximos meses.
The temperature did not move.
La temperatura no variaba.
So I said to him, oh, what we should do, just almost jokingly,
Y le dije, así como en broma,
I said we should make a, wouldn't it be interesting if we made a system where we coiled the pipe through your compost, and then instead of using oil to heat water,
sería muy interesante, le propuse que, como idea loca, que hiciéramos una espiral de tubo dentro de la pila de material y que eso lo lleváramos dentro de la casa.
let's use the waste heat from the compost.
utilicemos ese calor residual de la pila de compost.
Anyway, over about 12 months and a lot of Skype
12 meses después y muchas llamadas de Skype
and 13,000 euros later,
y 13.000 euros después
we finished, well, in my absence.
se terminó
So we did this by remote control, if you like.
la agencia de Darren por control remoto.
We made a system,
Se terminó un sistema
and then I got an email.
y recibí un mail
It said, "Official, we are the house of poo."
que decía, es oficial, somos la casa de la caca.
We are off the oil.
Wow.
Nos hemos desconectado del gasoil,
But it cost 12,000 euros to set up.
pero costó 12.000 euros.
Okay? But as he put it, that's 3 or 4 years and we are independent.
Pero como él decía, estos son 3 años o 4 de inversión habitual y ya está, somos independientes.
So all of their hot water for showers,
Toda su agua caliente para duchas,
for washing dishes,
lavar los platos,
and the radiator system
el sistema de radiadores,
are all heated by the waste heat from their compost from their stables.
se calienta con el calor residual del compost de sus establos.
That goes for 12 months.
Dura 12 meses.
And when it's finished, that material then goes out into the fields
Y al terminar el proceso, ese material va a los campos
and fertilizes the pastures.
y fertiliza los pastos.
And he makes a new one.
¿Y empieza otra vez?
I went there in June
Fui ahí en junio
to see the system for the first time,
para ver el sistema físicamente por primera
and
vez.
it surprised me how good it was.
Me sorprendió lo bueno que era.
And he didn't tell me that he put sensors everywhere.
Y no me había dicho el hombre que había puesto sensores por todas partes.
So he knew what the temperature of the water in the compost was,
Sabía cuál era la temperatura dentro del compost,
on the outside of the pipe,
en la parte externa del
on the
tubo,
inside of the pipe,
por dentro del tubo,
and then the temperature at that point, and then the 50 meters it was to the house.
y la temperatura en ese punto y después a 50 metros en la casa.
Okay? And to overcome that, because we were concerned that there would be a lot of heat loss from the compost to the house,
El hecho es que nos preocupaba la pérdida de calor entre la pila de compost y la casa.
and this was the most expensive part of the system.
Y esta fue la parte más costosa del sistema.
It's a 100 millimeter PVC tube
Es un metro de, un tubo de PVC de 100 milímetros
with 2 high density polyethylene pipes of this diameter, 25 millimeter.
con 2 tubos de polietileno de alta densidad de este diámetro.
So one going down and one coming up.
Uno que baja y uno que sube.
Okay, and then they are inside of this insulation material.
Y estos tubos están dentro del material aislante.
Okay, there was over that 50 meters an 8-degree difference, an 8-degree loss.
En esos 50 metros había una pérdida de 8 grados de temperatura.
Okay, actually the biggest loss in the system was from the compost to the tube.
La mayor pérdida en el sistema se daba en el punto entre el compost y el tubo.
He used 50 millimeter tube inside, 200 meters of 50 millimeter tube.
Dentro de la pila utilizó 200 metros de tubo de 50 milímetros
And high density,
de alta densidad.
okay? And that, so we lose a lot of temperature through the insulation effect of the plastic.
Es que perdemos mucha temperatura con el efecto aislante del plástico.
Plastic is not a very good conductor of heat.
El plástico no es buen conductor del calor.
So our next thing now is we're going to take out the plastic, which you'll now use as irrigation pipe.
Lo próximo que vamos a hacer es sacar el tubo de plástico que ahora va a utilizar como tubo de riego
And I think for 1,200 euros,
y por unos 1.200 euros
we're going to make a stainless steel heat exchanger.
lo vamos a hacer de acero inoxidable.
Yeah. Again, I mean, they're relatively high costs, but at the end of the day, it will last for 100 years maybe, you know.
Son
Why-
costes
why was
elevados, pero
that
puede
big?
durar 100 años, por ejemplo.
Why it was that big?
Oh, because of the volume of water that we calculated that we need.
Y el volumen, el
Well,
motivo de que fuese tan
smaller
grande,
and-
espera,
Hang on,
espera, Iván.
one minute.
Espera. El motivo de que fuese tan grande el tubo es por el volumen de agua que estimaron necesitaban hacer pasar por el sistema.
Wouldn't be better to make it a smaller pipe in a longer length?
No, because if it's smaller, then at longer lengths, then you start to get too much friction loss and the flow rate drops dramatically. So that's the problem.
Si el tubo es mucho más estrecho, entonces empieza a perderse por fricción y habrá menos flujo, menos presión.
So it doesn't matter how much pressure you apply at the inlet, it just won't come out at the other end, you know.
Aunque le pongas mucha presión en la entrada, al final la presión será mucho menor.
Okay,
Okay, I've got a question.
of course.
You said that you have to move the compost.
No, not in this system.
What happens then with the anaerobic?
Well, it is partially anaerobic, yes.
Este proceso, porque no se voltea, sí que será en parte anaeróbico.
This compost that we make now will only be about 1.5 cubic metres.
El compost que vamos a hacer ahora solo será de 1 metro, metro y medio cúbico.
It will last, it will heat water, I would guess, maybe for 2 to 4 months.
Va a calentar agua durante unos 2 a 4 meses.
Okay, that's students of mine and people who look at my compost shower video. They send me their information.
Algunos de mis estudiantes y gente que ha visto el vídeo de cómo hacer esta ducha, pues me mandan información.
And in general, people are saying they get between 2 and 4 or 5 months of hot water out of the system.
Y lo que dice la gente es que consiguen 2 a 5 meses de agua caliente.
And then my advice at the end of that is to take the pipe out, make the new compost.
Mi consejo al final es sacar el tubo, porque tendrás que hacer nuevo compost,
And then turn that compost.
y voltear ese compost.
That will add the air to it, and then it is ready.
Eso le añadirá aire y después ya estará listo.
All right, well, let's get into it, hey? Now, you'll need to just get your books because we're going to be using a bit of water, so if you've got books or cameras or any of those sorts of delicate items.
Recoger las cosas que sean delicadas del suelo, pues va a haber agua.
And also be aware that we're using these things. We're in a fairly confined space, and I'd hate to see any of you get wounded.
Tengamos en cuenta que como vamos a usar herramientas en un espacio pequeño, pues que sí, que tengamos cuidado, no nos hagamos daño.
And because we're not insured, well, that means that the best thing for us to do is to complete the job.
Como no hay seguro, pues lo mejor será que si alguien se hace daño, completar el trabajo, vaya.
And then we'll have to hide the evidence.
Y luego también esconder la evidencia de la compostera.
We know from composting kangaroos and cats, it takes about one week, 10 days, and you are disappeared.
La experiencia compostando canguros y gatos nos dice que es más o menos 10 días has desaparecido.
Care people. Care the people.
That's right. Oh, we'll care of you. Well, it's all care. Care of the, what is it first? Care of the earth or care of the people? Okay. Now, we've got some fittings here. This is a high density pipe as well.
Este es un tubo también de alta densidad.
That was the end of the tube when I got here.
Cuando llegué, ese era el final del tubo.
Now, that is not going to get a very good seal, so I've just cut that to make it so that it's a nice square, flat finish.
Y lo he cortado para que tengamos para que encaje mejor.
Because that will just not work very well.
Porque
Okay?
eso no va a funcionar muy bien.
Yeah, so we do need to do that to start with.
Así que eso es un buen primer paso.
And so we put that on. Make sure that you put all of this on first.
Asegúrate de poner todas estas piezas primero.
And most importantly, make sure that you have this little piece. This is the vital one.
Y lo más
Inside
importante
of here.
es que esté esa pieza ahí dentro.
If you don't have that, then you're wasting your time, okay?
Si no lo tienes, ya estás perdiendo el tiempo.
Has anyone not used this type of compression fitting before?
¿Alguien de aquí no ha utilizado este tipo de encaje por compresión?
Right, well these are fairly common all around the world,
Son muy comunes.
okay? They work. Basically, the important thing with them is to put these three pieces
Lo importante es colocar estas 3 piezas
You have this piece. Okay, now that piece, you see it's got little grooves in it, right? That actually grabs onto the pipe. So as you tighten this up, it closes it on and tightens it up, so it holds it from splitting, pushing apart, which is the natural tendency.
Esa pieza lo que va a hacer es, según se cierre, agarrarse al tubo para asegurarlo ahí en posición.
Right, now that goes on, that blue part goes on like that.
Después la otra parte por encima.
Now the next bit to do, skip that one, is we've got that little rubber ring in there.
Ahí
Okay.
tenemos el
Now we have to get,
anillo de goma.
ideally is you just pull that back, and you'll see inside here that there's another rim inside of there.
Y veréis
See
ahí
that,
dentro
Yvonne?
que hay otro borde.
Yep. That's where this piece is meant to sit.
Y es ahí
Okay?
donde esta
Not back
pieza,
here, it's actually meant to go all the way. Okay?
esta pieza tiene que entrar hasta
A
adentro.
lot of yeah, go on.
When you just buy that whole piece.
Yeah, and they come in a variety.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
What's
called
the name?
a compression fitting.
Es una
I think that's even what they're called in Spanish. Is that right, Antonio?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen them at the hardware stores and irrigation. They're called fittings. Yeah. So you push that in first like that. So pull these pieces back and then push that until it won't go any further. Then bring the ring in.
Se empuja hasta que ya no entra más y después se vuelve a introducir el anillo.
Okay, now see how that's gone in? All right, now I can't get that any further. Then you just tighten that up.
Y después aprietas.
Right? And that will grab onto it and it won't come undone.
Y así
Okay.
no se soltará.
You can, if you need to, you can buy a special spanner or tool
Hay una herramienta especial para poder asegurarlo más.
that will grab onto here. Yeah, that'll make it very tight. It's really important if you're using, if you've got a lot of pressure, because if there's a lot of pressure, then the pressure will burst somewhere. Find the weakest point.
Es muy importante asegurarlo bien, sobre todo si tenemos mucha presión, porque si hay mucha presión, buscará el punto donde explotar.
Okay, so we'll just leave that there. Let's start making the compost.
Empecemos con el compost.
We'll just make it in this sort of area. It's about all we can do. Right, now, if you're a bit sensitive to dust and all of that,
See you tomorrow.
okay. If you're a bit sensitive to this sort of dust, just be aware.
Si eres sensible a este tipo de polvo, de paja,
Okay, now let's just.
cuidado.
Now we have to come out about 2 meters in diameter, okay?
Hay que hacer unos 2 metros de diámetro.
Okay, so just make sure that it's got plenty of air. So we don't want to put it in the wedges. We want to make sure it's nice and fluffy.
Que esté bien sueltito.
Los bordes. Están muy blando.
Right, let's just do one bale at a time.
Hagamos
We're not too
una bala,
congested here.
una bala en cada una en una las balas.
Right, that should do. Let's do sort of 5 to 10 centimetre layers.
Unas
Just
capas.
open it right up. So there's plenty of air around every piece. That'll do. Whoop. Stop. Halt. Right, now some manure. Pull these back a bit.
Here, this one's open.
Ah, you see.
Got out your
My
Leatherman,
first
mate.
permaculture course, I saw my first leather mat. I went, wow. 1992 or whenever it was. And this big Aussie guy, and he had this big leather mat. You're a champion. You could do
Everything.
everything. There's nothing you couldn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I lost it. Oh, I've lost one. This is my oldest one. I've lost 2. I lost one of these, and then I bought a new one, and you can't buy this particular type anymore. And then I lost another one from US Homeland Security.
Yep.
When they opened my bag, they took a souvenir. My beautiful titanium Leatherman, which is in my room. I'll bring that out another time. This one, please. This one is a very sophisticated one.
It's got a bottle opener.
This one is the Leatherman Flare. It's because, you know, on those occasions when you need. But it's not just that, not just that. The flare extends to. You do have those occasions when you need a pate knife.
Fermented chicken liver.
Pate. See? And then, of course, because we're close to the coast, you always need an oyster fork. It is not for the. This is for the micro compost. Compost on the table. Okay. Yeah, let's put a bit of. Well, let's get a bit of water on first. Let's see if I can get this pipe up here a bit further. Okay. I'll just have to make do. Okay, can you just, can someone just turn that tap on? Just wait one moment.
Vamos a encender ese grifo. Los
Yeah, watch out.
hispanoparlantes,
I don't know what this is going to do.
para no tener que gritar por encima de todo.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll need to turn that on and off, so... But we do need to get a fair bit of water. Okay, we can turn that off.
Apágalo.
Right there. Okay. Okay, on with the poo.
Vale, estiércol.
Oh, come on, dig in. Jeez. Come on into that.
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Wash your hands before you eat.
Yeah, wash your hands
what they
before
mean
you do
by
the
that.
compost. We don't want your dirty germs. You dirty humans. See?
What kind of manure is that?
Don't tell
I
me.
think. It's Mallorcan.
Aquí se nos estiércol.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Wow. Oh,
You recognize it.
even I am not capable of such things. Okay. Better if you break it up.
It's getting more intimate.
And what's happening, which should not, is that this is a three-person activity when we have 25 other people.
We've got 15 photographers there, mate.
Yeah. We need a designated photographer, I think.
And I need a camera.
That one's drier.
Okay, not too much. Remember the 5-to-1 ratio?
Ah, es la proporción de 2:1.
Now you can see that's got a bit of moisture already in it.
Yeah, this one's really wet.
And you can see here as well that we're starting to get all of these nitrogenous organisms.
¿Veis
You,
aquí
oh,
que
God, smell that.
ya tiene humedad y que hay
Okay, do you smell the volt? Don't break it up too much, but just pass that one around and smell. It's really, you know, working and understanding compost is a very sensory thing. So you smell that ammonia. If you get the ammonia, that means that you have too much nitrogen.
I want some shit.
Okay? That's fine. Let's
Good,
stop
you
there.
like the shit?
Down, 1 to 1.
1 to 5.
Saved your life.
Okay, approximately. So let's just break up these pieces.
Like 10 centimeters and 1 centimeter.
This is, yeah, something like that. Okay. All right, more water. This is, if you do this well, this is instant tan. And this type of tan, you will always have the beach to yourself. Imagine that. We could all go have a compost party and we could have our own private beach in Mallorca. No one would come near us. Okay, that'll do. Now more straw. We're just layering it on. So we'll do another layer of straw, another layer of manure, another layer of straw, and then we'll put the pipe in. Just get it out nice and fluffy. Fantastic. Look at the skill. The skill. My goodness. How quickly you become expert. Alright, that'll do. Whoop, 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 whoop. Just make sure that you don't go and taper up too quickly. Yeah? Water? Agua? Good. Beautiful. Oh, that's looking wonderful. Look at that. Yeah, it's a shoes off thing. This is a full body experience almost. Yeah. It takes a lot of water, as you can see. If you get in and feel that it really hasn't got that much moisture, even though it seems like I've put a fair bit of water on. Okay. Manure!
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way. Oh, what's the crowd up here? This is the...
Paparazzi.
Oh, well.
There's some manure missing over there, huh?
Just in range. Just in range. So this moisture material obviously it's the stuff that's got more of the activity, which is showing up with the nitrogen, right? The dry material's basically got nothing happening. Okay? Well, it's not actually done because we can still recognise all of the parts, right? So it hasn't been decomposed. Yeah. Okay, some more water. And then another layer of straw, and then we'll start to put the pipe in. Good on.
Yeah, there.
Oh, Bubba. Okay. That's very excellent. Good. Okay. Let's open this up. Nice.
Yeah. Enough, huh?
Not really. I would prefer 100, but demonstration. Oh, it'll still heat the water, don't worry about that. It'll be over quickly. But for this size heat, you could do 100, which will give you a 4-minute shower of this size. Water? Please. What do you get at the moment? Oh, at the moment it's just a cold shower, isn't it? So I hear. See? No, I don't think it's really necessary. I've done that before, and I find it cools down too much. If you reduce the amount of air, then you reduce the temperature.
But like on Curacao we had the opposite problem. The pipelines of the water is on the surface, on the ground. So during 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, you cannot take a shower because the water.
No, of course, yeah.
So you need to
Cover.
clean it up.
You need to.
Pull the pipe.
Yeah. Well, you cover it. Even just putting mulch. If you leave pipes on the ground, then they will not last as long.
Yeah.
Because plastic photodegrades. They put UV. Put UV protective chemicals in the plastic, but they are quite volatile and they go off after a time, and you know. So. Okay. In we go. Now this is the hard part when it gets to this level. And you have to be careful with this pipe because it kinks quite easily. It kinks, like it bends. Okay, so just hold that there. Okay, now what I've got to do, now bring it into the centre, because in a compost it's the centre which is where the heat is, not out on the outside. Okay, so there's a core on the centre, and it will be about here. So if this heat ends up this high, the hot part will be about here. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to get that long enough so that we can reach for a start. Right, we know that we can reach to about here. Right.
Even?
That's fine.
Now,
that'll do.
Thank you.
Now just bring that in to about here. Okay? Alright, now I'm going to trust you guys. No, we don't want to do that. We want to actually have some space in between, okay? Alright, on with the manure. Close your eyes and open your mouth. Oh, now we're close to the action.
You don't need dinner.
Oh, yeah. Afternoon tea. I noticed there wasn't any biscuits. There we go. See, that's a good example. It just laminates together and no air can get through. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. Okay, that should do us. All right, next piece of water. I'll just get that a bit. Is that scented?
No, it needs more.
Okay, how's that?
That's better.
On we go.
Where's the water?
Agua.
Can we go farther? We can't go any farther.
No, come around. Bring this around the back of me. We're not connecting it at the moment. We're only connecting this end.
Yeah. Agua?
Yep, agua.
This side.
Alright, you guys are gonna get wet.
Careful.
No, get wet, it's alright, it's no big deal.
Get dry again.
Yeah, exactly.
¿Más presión o está bien aquí?
Hay una cámara.
¿Quieres más presión?
In a chemical formula way, what is actually the water doing? Is it the oxygen in the water being separated? Is it like a catalyst to trigger off? You're adding water to start the reaction.
Oh, all you're doing is just you're providing water to the organism. So at the moment, it's sort of like a missing link. So if you can see in that manure there was actual activity, whereas in that dry manure there's nothing going on because there's no water for them. Okay, so water promotes life. If you've got no water, you get no life. Okay?
Is it the base of any metabolism?
It's, basically.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Now let's just see if we can get that underneath as well. Let's just get it underneath so that we're getting the spiral. Okay.
And then it gets smaller.
That's beautiful. It will if we don't keep pulling it out to the sides.
Yeah.
So you have to put it outside.
Yeah, start at the outside and then bring it to the inside.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll bring that. That should do. Right, water.
Ya está bien. Ya está bien.
Now our next low. Now it'll start to get a bit easier to spiral.
Careful, water's coming.
Espera, espera. Aquí está.
Tighter.
Juanda, dame un poco ahí, que aquí hay...
It's fun when we did 400 meters, 400 feet, or 100 meters. It's a lot. About 20.
20 feet. Only.
Oh, the compost. It was only the same as this.
Oh right, but you just did it really...
Much tighter, yeah.
And it doesn't affect the warm water if you make it tighter?
Yeah. If it's tighter together and there's less space, then it doesn't heat up as much.
Yeah.
So that's a bit. We've got to tighten that up a bit. See if we can get a bit more over there.
Water?
Yeah, water. Yeah, definitely.
You think a mixture with wood chips and human manure would have a
Well,
higher...
human manure is actually quite high in nitrogen, depending on your diet, of course. So,
sorry, not human manure, like wood chips and manure would be would
it
produce
works.
more heat.
It's not too bad. No, it's not more heat because wood chips take a lot more. They take a lot more nitrogen to break down, so they're slower to break down. But you may have to add nitrogen along the way. Don't worry about me. I'm the person you least need to worry about. Okay, manure. I'll just tighten this up a bit. You can put sticks in here if you want. That's another thing we've done, so to keep the diameter exact. We've actually put 2 lots of sticks, so for a lot of tube where you put a small coil and then a larger coil outside of that. Because we have all of this surface area inside here that's not being used. Smelling one, yeah.
Lucky with this tray.
Like a cake.
You're on the right. There's more bags, you're nearly finished.
I think we are gonna get wet. At the bottom.
I think it's from horse. It seems like horse to me. Yeah. Looks like horse.
My camera.
It looks like horse to me. Okay. Agua. Ah. Okay. Now you'll actually, that type of delivery, the faster the delivery, the less you'll get. You're actually better with the old system. No. You're better to not have it so much. Just that is much better. You'll get much better watering if you do it that way than if you do this. It won't percolate. It's just like rain. If you get really heavy rain, it doesn't penetrate. If you get soft rain, it penetrates.
Big drops.
Big drops are perfect. See how that's actually soaking in? So the best tool, do you know the one with many holes?
Yeah.
That's the best type of delivery.
That spreads the water.
Yeah, it's like a shower.
Yeah.
You know that type? It's often on a length of tube. Yeah, they're beautiful. Okay.
Gotas gordas. Gotas gordas
Actually pollute the ground with too much nutrient. So we're better to share the love. Okay? Spread your love.
Water. Ponemos agua fría porque se nos caliente, ¿no?
Where's the other piece that we had?
¿La otra pieza?
Ah, so we'll put that on that end, see? I'll just get you these pieces. Hang on.
Falta
You're missing some.
Yeah, because we had some to put outside. But you had to bring them. Yeah, they come apart. They're the design. Inside. The stand? Just take the stand. Take everything apart. Come on. You have to take the part. Just put them on. And put them back in. And then thought, well, we're thinking about the solar system and the switch and the sun goes down and the sun goes off.
Let's let the water through now. Just make sure that's off. Actually, righto. Bueno, it'll just take.
Hay mucho aire.
Dripping in there.
Yeah, here it comes.
Si nos vamos temprano.
Okay, now, if what I would suggest, if you wanted to have a shower here, is right here. You would put a T, right, so that you would have so say you had your shower here, you'd have a T, so you'd have the cold, and then you'd also have this, and then you combine into the shower, and that's it.
Entonces lo que se haría aquí es poner una T para que pueda entrar el agua fría y también el agua caliente y poner la ducha ahí.
That's a very nice looking heap.
Buena pinta tiene. Buen trabajo.
It's enough for a shower.
Esto para...
It'll be fast.
Con esta puedes lavarte los pies.
Did anyone work out how much? There's 25 metres of tube. How much water is in that?
What's the size of the tube?
Well, internal diameter is 1 inch, so 25 millimetres.
25 pi r squared, half 12 squares, 144 times by 3.146 is 300, 420 times by 4.2 centimeters squared times by, how many? 25 metres? 10 litres.
10 litros.
That's
10.
yeah.